Hello, Flosstube. Uh, my name is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and this is my update number 228. Let me make myself a note here because I want to do it before I forget. Today is Saturday, April 9th. Excuse me, just a second. And I'm recording this pretty early for me, very early for me. I usually record in the late afternoon or early evening or whatever. But today we're going to be doing various things. And yesterday was my nephew's birthday. Happy birthday, Robert. And so we're doing some things today. And so I thought I'd do my update this morning and, get it out of the way before we have family over and do whatever. So a couple of things. I'm getting close to 300 subscribers. I'm like at 299, right on the edge. So if you're not a subscriber and you're just a casual viewer, I encourage you to subscribe. Um, not only not only would it get me over that little edge, but also for you, if this is the sort of thing you enjoy, you can hit the notifications little bell and get notified every time I do an update. So if you're so inclined, I'd appreciate uh, uh, you know the addition of that one last subscriber, that one last person. If you're holding out, now would be the time to join. Anyway, as a matter of fact, I debated whether or not to do this update now, very early in the morning, or late tonight, because of all the stuff that's going on. It would end up being very late if I did it tonight, because I want to go to. I'm going to the attic later on today, squeezing it in between all the other things, to choose something for my 300 subscriber giveaway. Now, technically, I'm not doing it yet, the giveaway yet, because I haven't hit 300 people yet. So I'm hoping to buy a chart and kit it up, or buy, Chessie and Me does these wonderful little kits, and I was looking at one the other day, not a couple weeks ago, last time I was at the attic, and almost got it, but not quite. So something like that, I might see if they have what they have available, or if there's another chart there that catches my eye. I may try to go ahead and kit that up. So it's still not decided what the prize is going to be, but I'm hoping to go ahead and get it. So like I said, I'm one person away from hitting that 300 subscriber mark, so I'm preparing for that. So I really don't have much to share in the way of stitching, because I've only worked on one thing. I've been sort of single-minded. This was one of my WIPGO goals, and I can't remember off of the top of my head. I think the numbers were 10 and 7 this month. So anyway, so one of them was the Sleepy Hollow drum thing, the second part of the Sleepy Hollow salve from years ago. So I still haven't done any work on that. I haven't started that. But the other one was this baby sampler that is, I think, currently my oldest WIP. It's like 25 years old. It's a Leisure Arts thing. You can see it's all tattered and worn, because this is, from the days before I did working copies or whatever, and the chart is on the is on this cardstock, thing. So I've been carrying it around for 25 years, and so this is a by Terrie Lee Steinmeyer for Leisure Arts, and so I'm almost done with it actually. And this is, like I said, I oriented it wrong. It's supposed to be this way on the fabric, and I did it this way. But I think there's, like I said, there should be enough to finish it well. But I'm very close to finishing it. Since last week, I worked on this, finishing the outer border. I had done the inner border already, and done like half stitches all the way around the outer border, and it started on it. But so, it's really gone very quickly, all things considered, because I think I finished that outer border like in a day or two. And so then I did the inside detail between the two borders, the little pink hearts and the yellow squares all the way around. And I just finished the yellow squares this morning. I kept thinking, I could do it in it. Yesterday I was thinking, I could do all those yellow squares. And I kind of did, but I was running around, I was doing this and doing that, and just got kind of tired, and so, did little by little. But anyway, so now all that's left to do really is the back stitching around these letters, and some of it I've done, like these two letters I did already, and this one I did the back stitching around the heart. And for the most part, it's this, this darker, it's like a gray color. But here and there, there's little pops of color, like there's a smile on the here on the Jack in the Box. J is for Jack in the Box. There's a little smile there that's done in a different color, in a red, I think, or something. And here and there, like there's an octopus there. O is for octopus, and there's a little, like a red smile on his mouth. And then this M is for moon. On the moon, there's some facial details, the mouth and the eye, and something else that are in another color. And there's a little lamb. There's a lamb there. You can't see it because it's white on white, but there's some back stitching on that lamb. And I think on this rainbow on the clouds there's some back stitching, and of course just all around the letters. And I did do the little sticks for this X is for xylophone, and then there's also a string here for the yo-yo. Y is for yo-yo. But then there's, like I said, there's this, dark gray back stitching on all of these letters and around all those animals. And then I have to add the details on here for my nephew, his age, and his name and birth date and his birth weight. I was talking to my sister about what I should put down there, whether I should put his current weight and all, and height or whatever. But I think we decided that, to just put his actual, birth weight and birth date and everything on there. So if nothing else, he can use it to remember how small he used to be. But I did notice when I was stitching on this that it's kind of grungy. After 25 years, it's gotten kind of grungy, and there was a little spot or something on it. So I am gonna have to. You can't really see it, but I noticed it when I was going around the corner there. There's a little spot there so I am gonna have to give it a little gentle wash to clean it up when I'm done with all the stitching. And this is just on it's on 14 count white Aida, and used to be pretty much all that I ever stitched on back in the day. But like if I did that nowadays, I'd probably dye it some, like a very gentle color. But that's Um, and I think somebody had mentioned in another video, or maybe no, it was in like on Facebook or one of the stitching groups or whatever. Um, Mentioned the some questions about dyeing, and I would encourage people to you can certainly buy fabric at a stitching store or whatever, or online. Um, there's lots of great fabric dyers and different prices. You can look around and see what there is to offer. But I would encourage people to also, if like for me, it's a little expensive to go to buy fabric for all the bazillion projects that I have. Um, and it's much cheaper to just buy fabric myself and dye it myself. And and sometimes I dye fabric specifically for a piece that I'm working on, and sometimes I just dye fabric just on a on a whim to see what a particular color is like, or what just to experiment, or just just to, and then later on I'll find something that say will work on a particular piece of fabric that I have. So either way, it can work out. And like I have a little stack of white fabric, some mostly 28 count, because that's usually my jam. Um, and then I have some little pieces, little comparatively little pieces of that Murano Carré that's 32 count. And I forget what the fiber content is. Like if it's um, some fabrics are like 100% cotton, like the Ada fabric that I have, or others are some combination of like polyester or rayon or whatever, just depending on like there things like if you look at the fiber content of uh, things like Lugana, or there's another fabric that I can never remember the name of. But anyway, so there, I think there different things. Well, there's linen, of course, and things like that. But there's some fabrics that are a certain percentage of rayon or whatever, or or some mixture of polyester and cotton or whatever. So uh, and they just have different feels, different texture, different some people find Ada very stiff and difficult to work with, but this Ada that I've had forever, is has softened up, completely. Um, when you buy Ada, when you first buy it, it can be very stiff. Like, well, I have a piece of fabric that's Ada, that's old also. Um, that's very stiff, and I've had it for a long time. And it's just last time I used it, I was stitching in hand because it was just so impossible to put in a hoop, because it was just so stiff. It was like putting cardboard in a hoop. But this one I've had long enough that it's not exactly floppy, but it's soft enough that putting in a hoop to stitch on, which is how I stitch, um, is not really a problem at all. But it just kind of depends on what you like. Some people like very very soft fabric. Um, I like it just in between, like really stiff Ada and really floppy linen. Um, that's why I use Lugana more often than not, because that it seems to be my favorite fabric now. Um, has a little bit of weight and thickness to it, and it's almost like I always think of it as like denim, kind of that like if you have a pair of jeans that you've had for a long time, that softness, you know. It's kind of like that same kind of texture, a little bit on the thick side, but a little on the soft side, and you know. Anyway, so that's a little thing about fabrics, but the nice thing about Lugana is that it you know takes the dye really well, and what I do is just I wet it and wad it up, and I have some like plastic shoeboxes. I put you know a little bit of dye in there, and scrunching up the fabric, you know, makes it take the dye in a little more modeled way, and I can you know mix dyes if I want or whatever, and put a very thinned out you know color, watered down color, so you can get different shades of you know different colors, whatever. So experimenting with RIT dye, RIT is what I use, RIT dye, can be a lot of fun. There's on the RIT website, there is I haven't looked, I've never looked at it really, but apparently there you know there are different. There's a chart there with like you know mix these two colors together and you'll get that. So if you're you know wanting to do something very specific, you could look on that chart, and otherwise you know you can just buy individual bottles and just do whatever strikes your fancy. Um, you just have to keep in mind, uh, you know what color combinations you know make what, so you don't end up with mud. But so yeah, you know, and if you're really unsure about what you're gonna do or whatever, you could take an old remnant of fabric, you know, like a white fabric or whatever, and just cut it up into squares and make yourself some little swatches basically, and see if you know maybe a little trial and error involved, but you can you know use the little you know, we have actually some glass yogurt jars. We yogurt, you know, OUI yogurt. Uh, we have several of these little glass jars, and they're just like you know little bitty things, and they're really good for small pieces. If you want to do a small piece of fabric, you can you know wad it up tiny or stick it there or whatever. Um, and but so something like that would be good for some combination of colors if you're trying to see how you know is this going to be green enough, is it going to be blue enough or yellow, you know whatever color, to put those little swatches, you know use those little swatches in a little container like that to see you know what color it's going to turn out to be or whatever. So the way I do it because I'm lazy, is I whatever color combination I'm gonna do. A lot of times I'll either I'll dry it outside because here in Arizona it's hot enough and you know dry enough that I can. It really doesn't take very long at all to dry outside. I try to put I have a clean thing. I have a plastic drying rack from the that can be used in the dryer or whatever. But I use that outside and just you know put my fabric on it. The only thing is it's not very big, so you can't really put a whole you know lot of fabric out there. But I can put it out to dry, and in the Arizona sun, it'll be dry in no time. Or you can put it in the dryer if you want. Um, I just you know if I'm dyeing several pieces of fabric, because I don't have room outside to put them all up. I don't have a clothesline to string them up or whatever. Um, But if I have several pieces of fabric that I'm trying to dry at once, I just stick them in the dryer, and I don't have any trouble with the color running. Like some people put salt or whatever in the mixture, in the dye mixture that they're making. Um, and I think that's good, especially if it's something, if you're dyeing something like clothing, like if you're dyeing a t-shirt that you're gonna wash, uh, over and over again. You don't want that color to fade. But for cross stitching, um, generally you're not going to be washing what you stitch on, so it doesn't really have to be um, super color fast. When you go to dye it, it's going to be color fast anyway, um, just because the dye is, you know, it's not something that's likely to fade. But you're not going to be washing it over and over again, so you don't necessarily have to worry about that. You can put it in there, but like I never have so far. So like I said, because I'm lazy, I don't put any fixatives in the dye, and I use the dryer. So yeah, just a little tip. I have a little bit of haul. So I think that's all the stitching that I've done. I have a little bit of haul. Um, and a little Etsy shop update, if you're interested in that sort of thing. So yesterday I went to Joann's with my older sister. Younger sister. She had to buy some fabric and stuff. It's a long story. If you watch on Sunday, you watch the if you watch the sticks and strings video that we just recorded. She talks at length about uh, a quilted jacket that she's been working on. She's been talking about that. She and my older sister uh, used a product called Quilt Smart, and they've discussed the trials and tribulations they've gone through with that product, and so she was making. Excuse me, my shirt's all wrinkled up. She was working on that, and had some issues. And so, anyway, she had to go to Joann's related to that. And so I tagged along with her and bought some things there. Some time ago, I bought the 2022 Santa, Prairie Schooler Santa, the one with the penguin, the Santa and the penguins and all that. And it called for this color thread for E980. It's light effects color, and I might already have this color. I'm not sure, but it's E980. I had written it down, and went ahead and got it at Joann's. I thought I hadn't written this number down, but I did, so it was in my phone. So I went ahead and got it. And I still haven't made up my mind whether I'm going to use it or not. I know people have said, very negative things about it. About their experience with light effects thread. So, and it is very neon-y, so I may or may not use it. But anyway, so I went ahead and got that since I was at Joann's, and because I didn't really, that was the only thing I went there for specifically. But I saw this since I was on a bookmark kick lately. This is the kind of bookmark that I have already. The ones I had, I think I still have them. I just, I think. But anyway, if this one is just edged in white, the ones that I had were, it was edged here, I think one in blue and two in green, or one in green and two in blue. I don't know, but these edges here, and this is just a Charles Craft 14 count Ada, and it comes with a free design in the back, on this little card. So anyway, I thought I'd get that just in case. I did give the bookmark to the young lady that I made it for, and we didn't have a whole lot of time to talk about it because people were coming into our class and everything. But she did ask me, if I'd made it, and I said yes. I didn't tell her that I designed it. We didn't have time to talk about that, but she really liked it. She liked it a lot. So hopefully maybe we'll get more time to discuss it this next time or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But she did like it. Yeah, she liked it a lot. So anyway, so since I was thinking about bookmarks, I got that bookmark when I was at Joann, and I got this little bunny, and like I do all the time, I thought, I could finish something on that. I don't know what, I don't know when, but I just thought that was a really cute little bunny. It's a little, got a little wooden string to hang it on, hang it, on the wall or whatever. But it's just a plain wooden bunny. And if you wanted to just have this as a flat or something, you could easily take this off. It's just on there with little wooden metal staples or whatever. And then the other thing I saw was this. I actually saw the back of it, and I thought, well, that would be really good. But it's got a little face on the front. So theoretically, you could, if you wanted to paint this, and then if you had a really small thing you could put there or whatever. Or you could just put it on the back and take those little staple things out if you wanted or whatever. So, but I thought that was cute too. This little bunny face. Yeah. And then my other bit of haul. Last time I think I talked about the stitching with the housewives charts that I bought. I think Egg Basket is one of them, and the other one is Carrots for Sale. But I had ordered two Prairie Schooler charts, and they came this just a couple days ago. So the one that I came across, I had never seen before, but I liked it, is this Woodland sampling, and it's just bunnies and squirrels. That's very cute, and it only uses like 6 colors. Yeah, the sort of green, brown, rust, gray, mauve, gold. So so it has the charts for these two little things, and then these little 4 individual smalls. Like you could use this ornaments or smalls or whatever. Or if you wanted to, I guess you could, excuse me, do them all in one as one larger kind of sampling, whatever. You could arrange those 4 individual things however you wanted. But so you get all those individual charts. So I thought that was very cute. And then this other one that, like I said, I had seen something about this chart. I don't know if somebody else had finished it, and that's where I saw it or where, but I had written the name down, and I had just, looked for it a couple times and didn't see it. But then I happened to see this on somebody's Etsy shop. But this is Starry Night by Prairie Schooler. And you get all these 6 designs. So there's Mary and Joseph on the donkey. There's the angel telling the over the town of Bethlehem, I guess, a little star there. There's a donkey and a cow in the manger. And there's Bethlehem, I guess. And there's a wise man. There's a shepherd with some sheep. And there's the 3 wise men. And this is all done in blues and blacks. And I think it calls for Krynic. In, yeah. Black, dark blue, blue, and light blue are the colors. And then this gold Krynic. And I still have my Prairie Schooler Angels that I haven't finished. I finished stitching them. I just haven't FFO'd them. And I even bought the backing fabric. And, you know, I just, it's one of those things. But anyway, so these are a similar color palette. And they're a little bit different style in a way. But along the same lines. I think they would go together very nicely with that. And I don't know that I'll do them on white, but some light color background fabric, if not white, because you know, I want that color to really pop, that blue and black and gold. And like I said, I started saying I never finished. The Blackwork Angels that I have, I used a toile on some of the. I think I used the DMC alternative gold color instead of Krynic, and then I used a toile on some of the things. But I think for all of this gold here, I'll use a toile. Give it some sparkle, but it's still, you know, that gold color. But it's not as difficult to work with as Krynic can be. So yeah, so I'll probably do that. But I just love this. I just love the little charts. And so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 charts, and they're all relatively small. One of them, this one I think with the Joseph and Mary, is 39 by 57, and all the others I believe are excuse me, yeah, 33 by 57. So they're the Joseph and Mary one is slightly taller, just by 3 stitches or something, but the others are all the same height, the 33. So they're but like I said, they're just adorable, just beautiful. So that was one of my unicorn kind of charts, you might say. So I think that's all I have right now. Like I said, I'm planning on squeezing in a trip to the attic, and looking for something for my 300 subscriber giveaway. So I'm just waiting till I cross over that 300 mark. Like I said, I'm at $2.99. So if you know anybody who's on the fence about becoming a subscriber, or if you yourself are on the fence, just go ahead and hop over that line. And speaking of hopping, that's a segue for you. I wanted to talk about what we have upcoming in the Etsy shop. In our Etsy shop, Three Sisters Creative. Right now there's a sale going on. I believe it's 25% off of a purchase of $25 or more. I believe that's what the sale is. But anyway, I had made these scissor fobs a few weeks ago, and I kind of wasn't happy with the colors were good, I thought, but wasn't crazy about the beads. The beads seemed very heavy for the sort of filigree style, open style of these charms. And so I told myself, well, I'll redo them. And my sister and I had talked about what beads we had that would work with them. And so I was going to redo them. And I forgot to do right, but we got involved in doing other things. And then in the middle of the night, the other day, I thought, oh, I need to do those quickly because they're spring, Easterish, and that's coming up in a couple of weeks, right? In a week. So anyway, these are the scissor fobs that I did. So they have these pretty little clasp things here on the top. And they're not quite identical. This one has the little dark green beads instead of orange right there. But these are the little sort of translucent little glass beads. And this is the charm on there. There's the big one. This is the big one. So there's a little bunny kind of contemplating the sky. Yeah, so I think these look just very springy, very Eastery, very pretty. And then there's these. So these also have those little heart-shaped things. And then little smaller beads because the charms are smaller. And so they'll turn the right way here. So there's a little bunny hopping in the grass, and there's a carrot. And this one is a little bit cheaper because if you look at the carrot there, it's missing the enamel. I don't know if it just, somebody wasn't doing quality control and it didn't get painted or whatever the way this other one did, or if it somehow in shipping, chipped or whatever. But I don't think I have another charm like this. I just have these. So this one that's missing the orange carrot is a little bit cheaper than this one with the carrot. I could turn it around that way, right way. Yeah, so it's a little bunny and the carrot and hopping across the grass. But anyway, so so there's the little tiny bead version compared to this one. It's a little bit, it's a larger one. So yeah, so there's 2 larger ones and 2 little ones, and these are already on the Etsy shop if you want to take a look at those. But like I said, there's a sale going on this month in our Etsy shop. 3 Sisters Creative is the name of the Etsy shop. And I think that's all I have. Like I said, I'm going to the attic later today to find something for my 300 subscriber giveaway, and I'm very excited. I'm very grateful to be closing in on that milestone. I've been I started this channel, I think, the end of 2017. Because it was shortly after I had gotten back into stitching. Well, I kind of never really left it exactly. I've stitched off and on for like 30 some years since just before I moved to Little Rock, so it would have been 88, I believe, December of 88. So, I had been stitching off and on. I stitched pretty regularly when I first started. And then I was busy with, the symphony and things like that. And so I would stitch once in a while whenever it occurred to me. And like whenever milestones came up, like my nephew being born. but you know, so I would do it once in a while. I tackle something and then sort of, and I have a lot of unfinished projects from those years because I would start something and then set it aside, you know, and like this baby sampler, and uh, but then after my brain surgery in 2016, uh, I got back into stitching, and because I'm on disability and various things happened during that surgery. I had a little kind of a stroke during the surgery, and so I had some disability on my right side and various other things. So so I found myself basically a little idled, if you will, compared to how what my life had been like before. But so I, you know, I still had all my cross stitch stuff and got back into it. And you know, back in the day when I used to stitch, I had never thought about needle workshops. There was one right there in Little Rock, the Shepherd's Needle, that I drove by it a bazillion times. I know exactly where it is. You know, I could picture the exact neighborhood, shopping center area where it is, but I just never went there. It never occurred, you know, even I never even thought about it. I just always went to Hobby Lobby or Michael's or whatever um, in those days. And and then since, you know, when I got back into it after my surgery, like in probably 2016, I think is when I kind of started stitching again. In late 2016, maybe early 2017. Um, I went to look up something, you know, because my sister said, "Oh, you know, just look it up online. There's a, you know, 1,000." I had a question about a particular technique, and so I went to look online to see if I could find something about it, and found all these references to Flosstube. And I thought, "What the heck is Flosstube?" And so I followed that bunny trail, and came upon this, you know, this phenomenon. And so I started watching all these videos, and so that's how I what led me to start my own channel in 2017. So so it, you know, it's a completely different world from what the world I knew back in, you know, back in the day when I first started stitching, and now um, because of course the online community, and it's a lot of fun. You know, I've sort of gotten into all kinds of other things, um, new techniques that I didn't know before, new fabrics that had never tried before, and of course there's a lot of designers. I designed a couple things myself. Um, oh, that's the other thing I worked on. You know, I'm still working on that Come Thou Fount. Um, I had stitched several years, a couple years ago, a few years ago, whenever Stitch Nanigans was, um, and I'm putting it, I'm charting it because I had, you know, just written it by hand and, you know, charted it by hand, and so and I'm revising it a little bit, and I worked on that yesterday on the computer, and so yeah. So hopefully I'll be done with that sooner rather than later. But I've worked on that this week also. That's another thing. So anyway, like I said, hopefully I will be hitting that 300 subscriber mark in the next couple of days. So today I'm gonna head to the attic and see what I can find in the way of just something to share for hitting that mark. And so hopefully the next time I do an update next week, um, I will have finished this, hopefully, and started working on my my two other April projects, the April Rabbit, which I haven't done. Like I said, I haven't done either one, the April Rabbit or the Sleepy Hollow. Um, so hopefully I'll start on those and do my taxes. I haven't done my taxes yet either. I just keep thinking, don't forget, because they're due next week, next weekend. So, oh, and and like I'm still trying to decide what to do for May. I sat down with my, I've been putting projects in my Thread Stash app. Um, there's a whole bunch of projects that are not in the Thread Stash app that I've just had, charts I've had lying around forever. And then like in the last I don't know, year or so that I've had it, whenever I buy a new chart, I just put that in there at least, that chart and those like these Prairie Schooler charts. I put this in my Thread Stash app along with the threads that are called for on it, and so that I have at least some kind of list of the chart that I have. But like I said, there's a whole stack of charts I have. I have like a notebook with page protectors in there, and it's full of charts. And I have a little box that has kits, and I have I have a whole ton of charts and magazines that I haven't put in there. And then I have a notebook that has like all Christmas charts, whatever. So, and those things are not in Thread Stash. Okay. Now, the ones that are in Thread Stash, um, it has a combination of charts that are currently in progress, and then all these new charts that I've bought lately. And that stash, now that stash does not have listed the ones that I finished. Those I have it set so that it hides the ones that are completed. So I noticed that on there it says I have 100 projects, and like I said, that's not counting all the ones that I have in my little closet. So yeah, I have a whole a ton of but I don't feel so bad because Cheryl McKinney of Tranquil Stitches, she does it on a Flosstube. She did, I guess it was, I don't know, it was several months ago. She did like some kind of thing where she, just like picked several charts, and I think she had her husband. She chose like, I don't know, maybe 5 charts, and then she just had her husband, pick something that he wanted her to work on. So she started it, and but she had like kind of a bookcase, and she would just grab a stack of them, to choose from, to find, like that's probably almost where I'm at right now. If I were to take and put all those charts in on a shelf of a bookcase, I'd, I think right now I would only have like maybe one shelf, about, but yeah, it represents a lot of, stitching. The SABLE, that is another acronym that some people use. Stash acquired beyond life expectancy. Yeah. So I was thinking I really need to, I I don't I don't really want to weed out anything. I have a few charts that I have pulled out and set aside because I'm probably not going to stitch them. And actually, I might use those as part of the giveaway. Maybe do several things to give away. I don't know. because I've set them aside because I wanted to use them as giveaways, and I just never did. So I might do those as part of my 300 subscriber giveaway or whatever, as well as whatever I buy at the attic. And this chart, I almost UFO'd it, set it aside to never work on it again because I was, like I said, my nephew's will be 25, and so I was like, is it even worth it doing it? I don't know, because he's not a baby anymore. It was originally to give to my sister when he was born, and but I'm glad I hung on to it, I guess, because it's kind of a funny conversation piece, I guess. Anyway, so so I'm hoping in May I could just do a whole bunch of stuff. Mania, whatever. I have a whole ton of charts that I can. Why not have more whips? Why not? Um, I have enough whips for WIPGO for this year, and some of them I'm hoping to finish a few of them, a couple of them at least, including this one, this baby sampler. And the others, I'm going to be doing, I've set my goal for, like, say, 10 days on some of these. And it's probably not enough to finish some of them, whatever, but it'll help me continue to make progress. And then, so next month, if I have a whole bunch of new whips or whatever, it's just more fodder for my WIPGO chart, for my next WIPGO chart next year or so. And I can maybe I'll put smaller goals and maybe 2 or 3 things on each square. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But anyway, so that's all I have for now. I've blathered on. I have for having one stitching project. I talked a lot. But I shall see you next week, and hopefully I'll have more to show by then. And like I said, go to the Etsy shop, check it out. There's some new things there. And like I said, we have a little bit of a sale going on there for the month of April. So I will see you then next week, and it'll be next Saturday. It'll be the day before Easter, I believe, as I recall. Today's the 9th. Yeah, it'll be just the day before Easter, because Easter is on Sunday of next week. All right, so until then, happy spring, happy Easter, and I will see you then. Bye.